The world watched in stunned silence as one of television's most commanding voices, Judge Judy lost her temper in a way no one had ever seen before. It happened live, under the bright lights of a national broadcast, and within seconds, millions of viewers witnessed the clash that would dominate social media, divide public opinion, and spark an emotional conversation about respect, truth, and power. It began like any other live special, A Justice in America, a panel show meant to discuss the growing divide between authority and accountability. Judge Judy, known for her sharp wit and no-nonsense demeanor, sat poised behind the bench, joined by several high-profile guests. Among them was Senator John Kennedy, the Louisiana lawmaker known for his calm, often blunt, Southern charm. The stage was set for a heated debate, but no one expected it to explode. As cameras rolled, the topic turned to personal responsibility and the justice system's failures. Judy, her voice edged with conviction, argued that too many people hide behind excuses instead of facing consequences. Kennedy countered with a measured tone, suggesting that empathy, not punishment, was the missing ingredient in America's broken legal culture. At first, their exchange was civil and even respectful. But then came the spark, when Kennedy interrupted Judy mid-sentence to say, "Sometimes justice isn't about winning, it's about understanding." Something shifted in the room. Judy's eyes flared. She slammed her pen down. "Don't you dare patronize me, Senator," she snapped, her voice rising with the kind of intensity that silenced even the studio crew. "I've spent my life fighting for truth and fairness, not political poetry." The audience gasped. For a moment, even the cameras seemed to freeze. Kennedy, however, didn't flinch. He simply leaned forward, his expression calm, and replied in a low, almost chilling tone, "Then maybe, Judge, it's time to fight for listening instead of shouting." The silence that followed was electric. You could feel the tension at the clash of two worlds, two ideologies, two generations of leadership. Judy's face softened slightly, her eyes narrowing not in anger but in reflection. Still, the damage was done. The clip hit the internet minutes later, spreading like wildfire. Hashtags like #JudgeJudyMeltdown and #KennedyResponse trended globally within hours. Comment sections filled with divided opinions. Some praised Kennedy for keeping his composure. "That's what grace under fire looks like," one tweet read. Others defended Judy, saying her passion for justice was being misinterpreted. "She's human, and she cares deeply. That's why she reacted." Another post argued, "It wasn't just a TV moment, it was a cultural flashpoint, an emotional mirror reflecting society's deeper struggle between emotion and reason." Behind the scenes, sources close to the show revealed that Judy was deeply affected by the incident. She reportedly refused interviews for several days, reflecting on the exchange and her reaction. "She felt she lost control," said one insider. But more than that, she felt misunderstood, as if her entire career of integrity had been overshadowed by one moment of anger. Meanwhile, Kennedy, ever composed, released a brief statement that only added to the mystery. "We're all human," he said. "Sometimes the loudest voices just need to be heard," and then reminded that silence can be stronger. His words resonated with millions who saw the confrontation not as a scandal, but as a lesson in humility and restraint. A week later, Judge Judy returned to the screen, addressing the incident with grace and surprising vulnerability. "I lost my temper," she admitted, her tone softer than usual. "I've always believed in strength, but strength without empathy is just noise." Senator Kennedy reminded me of something important that night, that real power isn't in the gavel or the title. It's in how we choose to listen. The audience erupted in applause. What began as an explosive confrontation had turned into a national moment of reflection. In a time when shouting often drowns out understanding, two public figures had unknowingly given the world a lesson on humility, one through fire, the other through calm. Today, the clip continues to circulate online, not as a scandal, but as a symbol of growth. Viewers revisit it not for the drama, but for the transformation that followed. It reminds people that even the strongest voices can stumble, and even the calmest hearts can teach. In the end, Judge Judy's scream wasn't the headline her apology was, and John Kennedy's cold response wasn't heartless, it was healing. Together, their moment of tension became a rare gift, proof that even in our loudest arguments, there is room for grace, and that, perhaps, is the real verdict the world needed to hear.